Discover the amazing truth. A single dad's kindness to a crying girl unveils an incredible secret. Jack's heart sank as he sat in his beat-up old truck, watching rain streak down the windshield. The world outside seemed to mimic his swirling thoughts. Just a year after losing his wife, the weight of being a single dad was crushing. Ava and Ben were counting on him, yet he felt like he was barely keeping his head above water. Car troubles at work had piled up, and by the time he clocked out, all he wanted was to return home and hide. But tonight, there were groceries to buy for dinner. As he stepped out into the gloomy parking lot, the steady drizzle matched his mood. The haze of recent memories lingered, shadowing his resolve. As he drifted past rows of cars, something caught his eye. A small figure huddled on the curb, wet hair clinging to tear-streaked cheeks beneath a hooded jacket. Jack hesitated, a pang of anxiety gripping him. He had enough on his plate without getting entangled in someone else's problems. But as the girl buried her face in her knees, a familiar ache stirred within him, a reflection of his own loneliness. He found himself drawn to her, like a moth to a flickering flame. "Hey there," he said gently, kneeling in the downpour. "What's going on?" The girl peered out through damp curls, hurt and vulnerability etched on her youthful face, something he had seen mirrored in his children. Each sob felt like a pinprick to his heart. After they spoke, he made the decision he had fought against, inviting her home for dinner. A part of him wanted desperately to escape his own troubles, yet another part wanted to be that beacon of light, guiding someone else through darkness. As days turned into weeks, the connection between Jack and Emily flourished. Her paintings told stories he could feel. The colors vibrated with deep emotion, raw and unfiltered. Each brushstroke unraveled a complex world he struggled to grasp. Jack invested his time in her art, fueled by a budding sense of purpose as he encouraged her. But just when the joy of their friendship began to settle into a comforting rhythm, the unexpected storm hit. Emily's mother reappeared in her life, a whirlwind of glamour and ambition that clawed at Jack's insides. The stark contrast made him question his own worth. Could he truly offer Emily the stability she needed when the shadows of a glamorous but fractured family loomed over both of them? His insecurities spiked like the rising floodwaters outside. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps with reach. Seriously, it makes... Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now, let's continue. As the local gallery prepared to showcase Emily's work, Jack's heart raced in rhythm with anxiety. It was a bittersweet moment, a testament to their bond, yet too fraught with tension. The atmosphere was ripe with anticipation, but the shadow of Emily's mother loomed large, dragging dark memories from the past into the light. Jack confronted his own doubts, wrestling with the fear of her mother's slick charm overriding a father's raw devotion. With each moment leading to the show, the tension thickened. Would he fight hard enough to keep Emily close, to ensure she chose the path that felt right for her? Or would he lose her to temptations of a life he seemed unable to give? The stakes felt impossibly high, and as the gallery lights flickered overhead, Jack faced the undeniable truth of the impending clash. Would he summon the courage to defend the fragile dreams he'd helped nurture, not just for Emily, but for himself? The echoing silence amplified the urgency, electrifying the air with unspoken promises, in a world where destinies were yet to be written. Jack's hands trembled slightly on the wheel as he navigated through the winding path toward the gallery, a visceral knot tightening in his stomach. He had spent weeks preparing for this moment, brainstorming how to support Emily while grappling with his own insecurities. The gallery stood tall and inviting, an aesthetic beacon that promised dreams and aspirations. But for Jack, it felt more like a looming judgment. Once inside, he felt the bright lights illuminate the walls that displayed Emily's vibrant paintings. A part of him swelled with pride at the beauty of her work, yet the growing crowd suffocated him. They moved in clusters, chatting, laughing, and admiring the art. But behind those social interactions, he felt an alienation that made his heart pound. Emily deserved this. She had poured her soul into these canvases. But in the back of his mind lingered the poisonous thoughts of inadequacy. How could he ever compete with the polished elegance of her mother? Jack caught sight of Emily, glowing in a way that took his breath away. She wore a simple dress, yet it flattered her artistic spirit. Her eyes sparkled as adults approached her, praising her talent and inquiring about her creative process. He noticed how her smile widened, but something deep within him recoiled at the thought that this moment could pull her away from him. He had shared laughter with her, evenings of painting together, and the warmth of their conversations had brought him a semblance of hope amid his chaotic life. Now, watching her captivated by the attention of others, the pang of loss struck like a hammer. Was this what he had unconsciously yearned for, to protect her from the very world that inspired her? Jack shuffled toward the refreshments, seeking solace, soda and stale crackers. His keen eyes, however, remained fixated on Emily and an elegant figure that had just arrived. It was her mother, effortlessly captivating, drifting from one guest to another while the air filled with her laughter. Raw, corrosive jealousy battered Jack's insecurities like waves against a cliff. He battled a growing certainty that Emily would be lured into a glitzy world filled with opportunities far beyond the father's humble offerings. He decided then, in that moment of emotional turmoil, that he had to talk to her. She would need his support more than ever. But as he turned to approach her, Emily's mother intercepted him, a silver-tongued barrier separating him from the warmth of his connection with Emily. With each passing second, Jack felt his resolve waver, yet something deep-rooted within him refused to yield. He took a breath, straightening his spine, and planned his approach. He couldn't allow intimidation to mute his voice. The stakes were not solely about the relationship he shared with Emily, but also about reaffirming his value as a father, as someone worthy of nurturing dreams. With a purpose fueled by the terrifying imbalance of emotions swirling within him, he prepared himself to confront both Emily and her mother. Jack finally stepped up to Emily, catching her attention just as she finished speaking to another guest. He could sense her lingering excitement dim slightly as she noticed the uncertainty etched across his face, but her warmth beckoned him closer. He leaned in, drawn by a loop of vulnerability tethering them together, clutching at the belief that no matter the outcome, he had to try fighting for her. "Can we talk?" he asked, mustering every ounce of calm he could gather. But before she could respond, her mother's voice sliced through the atmosphere like an icy wind. "Emily, darling, I need to introduce you to someone important. This could lead to some wonderful opportunities." Jack's heart sank as the power play unfolded right before his eyes. The tension spun, tightly wound and electric, holding both Emily and Jack in a grip of uncertainty. Would he find the courage to stand for her? Could he challenge the glamour and prestige that threatened to sequester their bond? The moment of truth was on the horizon, and the impending confrontation felt inevitable. Facing the stark reality of their situation, Jack was poised on the precipice of a critical decision moment, as the art around them began to blur amidst the tension, reminding him that sometimes the most significant battles take place not on grand stages, but within the quiet, personal realms of the heart. Would he seize the moment, or watch as the vibrant colors of their connection faded into the shadows? Jack's heart raced as he found himself navigating through a swirling sea of acrylic colors and laughter. His gaze remained anchored on Emily, her radiant smile brightened against the backdrop of art that celebrated her spirit. Every graceful movement she made was like a brushstroke, the rich tapestry of her talent. Yet, with each moment that slipped by, Jack felt further adrift, caught in a tempest of emotions that clashed within him. "Dad, just a second." Emily's voice broke through the noise, a sharp lifeline calling him back from the precipice. She flashed him an inviting glance, an unspoken recognition of his presence in the throng. Yet, even as he approached, the confident figure of her mother glided beside her. "Let me introduce you to Mrs. Langley. She represents some phenomenal artists," her mother chirped, her tone smooth as silk, wrapping a possessive arm around Emily's shoulders. Jack's throat constricted. Why did Emily need a gateway into this world? Why did it feel like her mother was repositioning him to the outskirts? He had spent years building up to this moment, steering her towards her aspirations, while mourning the breathless moments they shared. The notion of her mother commandeering her future rattled deep within him. Feeling small in a crowd that shimmered with success, Jack turned to steel his resolve. This was less about fighting for Emily's attention. It was about standing firm in his belief that he could and should have a place in her journey, despite his insecurities. He recalled the nights spent helping her perfect her skills, those moments when she had sought his encouragement. Could he draw from that well of inspiration? In a flash, Jack stepped closer, cutting through the network of mingling guests. "Emily," he called, clear and steady, his voice rising above the gentle hum of chatter. For a split second, the crowd seemed to fade, leaving just the two of them, the vibrant colors of the gallery morphing into a muted palette as her eyes locked onto him. She turned away from her mother's manicured hand, surprise dancing across her features. "Dad?" That tiny affirmation surged through him like a rallying cry. "I believe in what you're doing. You have so much talent, and I want you to know that I support you, no matter what," he said, his voice steadier now. The determination coursed through him felt like a revelation, nudging him to shed layers of doubt. He felt cold beads of sweat gather on his brow as her mother's disapproving glare pierced through the crowd. "Jack," she interjected sharply, "if you don't mind, Emily and I have some networking to do. Don't you think it's time to let her shine without?" Taking a deep breath, Jack held his ground. "I understand that it's important, but so is family. This matters to me too," he declared, feeling empowered by the stirring within. Emily's eyes sparkled with gratitude, and for a fleeting moment, they shared a connection that transcended the confines of the gallery. "Thanks, Dad," she whispered, a smile breaking past the tension. Jack's heart swelled, but his moment of triumph was punctuated by the steel determination etched across her mother's face. This would not end here. He could feel the stakes rising, as though the undercurrents of the evening had suddenly intensified. "But your father is just worried about how you'll handle the pressure." Her mother slid back into the conversation, attempting to downplay his presence, her voice a venomous undertone meant to fracture the moment they had savored. Jack's resolve hardened further, morphing from insecurity to a commanding presence. What did it mean to be a father if he didn't uphold the connection that mattered? It meant wrestling against external influences with the internal strength he had finally begun to recognize. As the tension thickened and the conversation unwound into ambiguity, Jack ignited a flicker of quiet defiance. He had ignited something profound, not only for Emily, but also within himself. No longer could he be merely passive. The time had come to face Emily's future, a future in which he belonged wholeheartedly. But as her mother steered Emily towards another circle of people, a lurking fear remained. Would he be able to truly inspire Emily to navigate a world where competition thrived on isolation? Or would his own vulnerabilities continue to cast a long shadow over their connection? The gallery walls echoed with whispers of possibility and the vibrant energy of aspirations, trapped in a dance of uncertainty. The evening was far from over, and Jack was poised for the battle ahead, knowing deeply that the true test of his growth was yet to unfold. A confrontation loomed with Emily's mother, and he had to be ready to face it, not only for Emily, but also for himself. Jack watched as Emily and her mother flowed seamlessly into another group, caught in a tide of laughter and self-promoting business talk. The momentary connection they shared pulsed like a fragile thread across an expanse of growing tension. He felt the need to protect that thread, but doubt clawed at him, whispering that he was ill-equipped for the intricate weavings of this new world. He pushed the unease aside as he navigated through clusters of guests, intent on gathering his thoughts. The walls, adorned with splashes of creativity, felt both inspirational and isolating. Images of Emily's youthful exuberance flashed through his mind, a time when art was simply an outlet before the weight of expectation wrapped around their lives. What would it take to break through? Jack mused, aware that the significance of art in their lives had transformed. It was now a measure of success and validation, not just expression. As he stood before a vibrant piece that captivated many, Jack contemplated his own role in this narrative. Did he belong here, or was he merely an observer? In Emily's eyes, he saw a flicker of the little girl who danced in the living room while painting, a stark contrast to the poised young woman navigating adult aspirations. The very thought kindled a fierce protective instinct within him. The walls pressed closer, and he felt suffocated by the duality of pride and fear. Suddenly, Jack's contemplation was interrupted by Mrs. Langley's laughter. "Such raw talent! It needs proper direction," she exclaimed to the group, gesturing animatedly towards Emily. The platitudes fell from her tongue like sugar-coated lies, sweet but insidiously manipulative. Jack felt a flicker of anger ignite as he realized the undercurrent of domination behind her words. "Direction?" he felt compelled to interrupt. "Isn't it invaluable to let her make her own choices? Growing is about finding one's voice, not following someone else's lead." He spoke with unexpected defiance, surprising himself. The room quieted momentarily, all eyes pivoting towards him. Mrs. Langley arched an eyebrow, her smile tightening. "And who exactly are you to dictate how Emily should develop her career? This is a competitive field, Mr. Thomas." Jack squared his shoulders, swallowing the urge to retreat. "I'm her father," he stated, his voice steady, "and I'm here to remind her that it's okay to decide her own path." He noticed Emily's gaze shift back to him, focal yet hesitant, as if gauging the weight of their moment. Mrs. Langley stepped closer, exuding an air of condescension. "A lovely sentiment, but love doesn't pay the bills or create opportunities. Sometimes a firm hand is necessary," she replied, dismissing Jack's emotional appeal with a calculated wave. The distance between them grew palpable. He felt a pulse of doubt. Was he just a father attached to outdated ideas of nurturing? Yet anger coursed through him. He may not have the polished credentials or connections, but he had something deeply valuable, a clear insight into who Emily truly was. "Opportunities can flourish when a person believes they can achieve them," Jack countered, standing his ground. "She needs to feel supported, not pressured into someone else's dream." A lull followed, and Jack sensed the potential for change hanging in the air. Emily's mother, momentarily caught off guard, appeared to reevaluate the depth of her approach. Jack realized the stakes stretched far beyond this showdown. They reached into the core of his parenting and Emily's emerging identity. "Emily deserves to shape her own narrative," he continued, gazing directly at her, willing her to understand. "That way there will truly be room for her talent to breathe." As Jack finished, the crowd buzzed with an uncertain energy, half sympathetic and half judgmental. Emily's expression morphed into something contemplative, nearly detached. He could feel a shift within himself, a new surge of determination, the dawning realization that he was not only fighting for her future, but also redefining his identity as a father. Would Emily choose the path he envisioned for her, or would she embrace a journey all her own? The reality pressed in on him. He could no longer afford to remain in the shadows of her ambitions.
He needed to confront the depths of his own belief in both her and himself. As the evening unfolded, an uncomfortable silence lingered. Jack understood that this confrontation was only a prelude. The real battle lay ahead, not solely against Mrs. Langley, but against the tide of external expectations. The moment was brewing.
Moment when he had to prove to both Emily and himself that he would fight for the understanding they needed and deserved. And as he prepared for what lay ahead, the question haunted him. Could he truly guide Emily while allowing her the freedom to find her own way? The atmosphere crackled with unspoken tension. Jack's heart raced as he absorbed the reactions swirling around him. He felt exposed, as if he had stripped away all the armor he had forged since Emily was born. In that moment, everything hinged on this precarious balance between nurturing a child's ambition and protecting her from becoming a vessel for someone else's aspirations. Steeling himself, he caught the eyes of several guests, their glances mingling curiosity with judgment. With every second that ticked by, he felt the pressure mounting, yet he understood that the clarity he sought could only come from within. Jack turned away from the small crowd, seeking refuge against the vibrant wall of art depicting dreams and aspirations. Each piece told a story, stories of triumph, suffering, and the relentless pursuit of identity. What about his own story? Jack reflected on the years spent working tirelessly to provide for Emily after the divorce. He had focused on survival and stability, crafting a routine that barely allowed for his own dreams. How had he lost sight of his identity outside of being a father? His breath caught momentarily as he recalled a time when he too had a passion. Before life's disappointments tempered his enthusiasm, art once danced freely within him. He had a love for photography, savoring the rush of capturing moments, shadows, and light. But somewhere in the years of bills and responsibilities, that part of him had all but faded. Shifting his focus back to Emily, he realized this might be the moment he needed to reclaim that lost piece of himself, not just for him, but as a way to genuinely support her. The path to understanding and embracing their respective arts could run parallel, allowing them to be collaborators in personal growth rather than mere puppeteer and puppet. Jack clenched his fists as he ventured through the crowd again, determined. Each step felt deliberate, bolstering the connection within him that promised transformation. He wanted to challenge not just the narrative imposed by others, but also the limitations he felt shackled by. The shift inside ignited a whisper in his mind. Could he reignite his passion for photography, encourage Emily's path, and redefine what it meant to be a father in this ever-demanding world? As he extended an arm around Emily, Jack cleared his throat, forcing out words that felt liberating yet daunting. How about we create together? I could teach you about photography, share my passion for capturing emotions through the lens, while you dive deeper into your art. We can discover our own paths together. Emily's eyes widened, flickering between surprise and hope. Could she envision a world where their talents intertwined? "What about your photography?" she asked. "It's been buried for too long. Just like your creativity, it deserves to be set free." The gravity of his statement echoed not just in the air between them, but struck a resonant chord in his soul. They exchanged a knowing glance. Recognition cloaked both of them in a silent pact. This wasn't just about her career. It was about reclaiming parts of themselves they had let slip away in the flurry of obligations and expectations. But as the conversation shifted, Jack's insides twisted with the realization that this process wouldn't be without conflict. He could already feel skepticism bubbling up from those around him. Would they mock what he attempted? Or would Mrs. Langley's voice ripple through their new venture, threatening to disrupt their fragile momentum? The stakes were high, and as they proceeded into uncharted territory, Jack knew he had to brace himself for not only external challenges, but also the uncomfortable reflections within. What would it mean to face his own fears while leading Emily into the depths of creativity? The next steps were critical, yet uncertain, and Jack felt a mixture of excitement and dread. Unraveling their shared dreams wouldn't just redefine their relationship, but force Jack to confront his limitations. Would he drop the facade of a dutiful father around everyone else, showing Emily that it was acceptable to falter while striving for greatness? The thought buzzed in his mind, fortifying his resolve. The journey had begun, yet beneath it all loomed the question: would he have the courage to dismantle his fear and step boldly into this new chapter together? Or would they falter under the pressure of others' expectations? In that moment of decision, Jack knew the real journey lay ahead. Beyond merely empowering Emily's choices, he'd have to face down his own ghosts to pave the way for her flourishing. And with every heartbeat, that inner voice whispered a challenge he was now ready to accept. Jack and Emily spent the subsequent week diving headfirst into a shared realm of creativity. They transformed their living room into an improvised studio cluttered with cameras, canvases, and remnants of artistic endeavors. Each evening, under the soft glow of string lights, they would explore themes in art and photography, exchanging stories, ideas, and laughter that wove a tighter bond between them. Yet, with each moment of their newfound joy, Jack wrestled with an escalating anxiety. The unspoken skepticism from those in his circle loomed like dark clouds during their sunny escapades. He frequently doubted himself, wondering if he was truly capable of stepping back into the world of photography after so long in the shadows. Each time he picked up his old camera, he felt a quiver of apprehension. He feared he had fallen too far out of practice, that his once vibrant passion had dimmed. One Friday evening, after a long week filled with exploration, they sat together on the floor, surrounded by the evidence of their creations. Emily held up one of her paintings, a mix of vivid blues and greens. "Do you think this really captures how I feel?" she asked, her voice tinged with uncertainty. Jack studied it closely, feeling the familiar pull of instinct guiding him. "Art is about expression, Em. What you've created is authentic and vibrant. It's not about whether it technically succeeds, but how it makes you feel." Encouraged by her father's candid approval, Emily cast him a sideways glance. "What about your photography? Are you ready to show me what you can do?" The words stuck in Jack's throat. He wanted to, but insecurity gnawed at him. He shifted uncomfortably, his heart racing at the prospect of failure. "I think there's a lot of rust since I last picked up the camera." "Doesn't that just mean it's time to dust it off?" she replied, her voice steady and sure. Surrounded by the remains of their ongoing efforts, Jack understood that this was the tipping point. Taking a deep breath, he nodded. "You're right, it's time." He closed his eyes for a moment, envisioning the moments he had once captured, the laughter on a friend's face, the depths of a sunrise, the serenity of a still lake. Igniting that spark felt monumental, but with Emily by his side, it also felt possible. The next day, they set out for a nearby park that had often been a muse for Jack in the past. He felt the weight of the camera strap resting against his neck, a potent reminder of the passion that had defined a part of his life. Emily, with her own sketchbook, walked beside him, her enthusiasm electrifying. As they roamed through the park, Jack rediscovered his surroundings through the lens. Each snap of the shutter echoed with a reverberation of rediscovery, sparking moments of joy he thought he had long buried. He felt the freedom of the artist re-emerging, his confidence gradually building with each captured frame. But as the day progressed, a nagging thought loomed at the back of his mind. What if the judgment he felt from others wasn't just an echo, but a persistent entity? What if Mrs. Langley, too, was watching, her disapproving gaze igniting the fears he tried so hard to vanquish? Faced with the question of external validation, Jack's resolve wavered.
He found himself questioning whether he would ever truly shake off the need for societal approval while attempting to thrive as both a father and an artist. As they walked back home, their minds abuzz with the thrill of creation, Jack recognized that their journey was just beginning. Would he be able to stay true to this path, or would the fear of scrutiny pull him back into his shell? The following day promised new challenges, including a discussion with Emily about showcasing their work, giving the world a glimpse of their creative venture. But with that excitement came fear. Would they face ridicule rather than unwavering support? Jack felt an internal
conflict brewing. He understood that to lead Emily as a guide in this artistic discovery, he had to fully embrace his reawakening. He recalled the laughter they shared in their makeshift studio, realizing that doubt and self-judgment could either become anchors or stepping stones. The choices ahead loomed tall. Would Jack summon the courage to confront his insecurities while supporting Emily in breaking free from hers? With each passing day, the stakes felt higher, igniting a fervent inner dialogue. Success lay not merely in their expressions, but in the spirits they forged together. How could he ensure their mutual growth in the face of overwhelming doubts? With their next steps unclear, Jack braced himself for the tough conversations ahead. It was no longer just about creating art together. It was about redefining their identities under the scrutiny of the outside world and what that truly meant for their future. Could they navigate this new terrain hand in hand, or would the weight of expectation crush their ambitions before they ever truly began? The dawn painted the sky in soft pastels as Jack and Emily poured their morning coffee into mismatched mugs. The aroma filled their living room, which buzzed with remnants of the previous day's creative endeavors. Today, they would face the uncertainty of showing their work to the world, and with that decision loomed a tempest of emotions. Jack sat at the rickety dining table, his mind racing. Every sip of coffee felt like a countdown, each drop amplifying the knot of anxiety forming in his stomach. He glanced at the canvas propped against the wall, a piece Emily had proudly titled "Searching for Light." The title rang like a bell in his mind, a stark reminder of his own inner struggle. Was he truly seeking light, or was he merely afraid of the darkness closing in? "Ready?" Emily's voice broke through his thoughts. She leaned against the doorframe, her eyes sparkling with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. "Yeah, just thinking about everything," Jack admitted. The words felt heavy, burdened with unvoiced fears. She stepped closer, placing her hands flat on the table with a firm resolve. "You've got this, Dad. It's just sharing part of who we are." Her confidence stirred something deep within him, a flicker of hope. But Jack couldn't shake the image of Mrs. Langley from his mind, the self-appointed critic of their small town, who seemed to thrive on other people's failures. What if she dismissed their hard work as childish whims? What if she labeled him a failure as a father and an artist all over again? "Maybe we shouldn't," he started, but Emily cut him off. "No maybes, Dad. If we don't show what we've created, we'll never know what could happen." Her words were direct, slicing through the fog of doubt clouding his thoughts. She was right. It was not just about exposing their art. It was about challenging their fears, accepting the risk of rejection, and daring to embrace existence outside their comfort zone. Jack placed his coffee cup down, a decision crystallizing within him. "All right, let's do this. We'll set up a little showcase right here," he said, gesturing to the cluttered living room. "Just us and a few close friends, some people we trust." As they worked together to arrange the space, a wave of energy washed over him. They moved to the rhythm of creativity, layering the artworks, organizing the space, and discussing how they wanted to share their stories. As the day crept on, the initial excitement morphed into an internal war of feelings once again. His hands fumbled, but found new steadiness in Emily's unwavering presence. They laughed as they hung the last piece, a photograph Jack had taken of Emily laughing in a meadow, sunlight streaming through her hair, a a true portrait of joy. But once the art was displayed, Jack stood back, breathing deeply, his gaze drawn to the scattered frames, portraying their journey, moments of vulnerability entwined with splashes of hope. However, his moment of pride was clouded by the still-present anxiety. What if this was simply a naive dream, blurring reality with wishful thinking? "Hey," Emily said, nudging him lightly. "Focus not on what could go wrong, but on what could go right." He turned to her, overwhelmed by the sheer truth in her words. "It's just, so much feels at stake," he confessed, staring at the vibrant pieces that echoed their souls. "Our journey is about more than just the outcome. It's about discovering that our fears and our passions can coexist. We're not just artists, we're explorers," Emily said with an earnestness that resonated deeply within him. Gazing at her, he felt a swell of pride and determination. Perhaps this was the moment where both would discover new depths of ability and authenticity. He thought of his own rekindled passion juxtaposed against Emily's unyielding dreams. Together, they could create something beautifully impactful. As the evening approached, Jack felt his heart race anew. They were about to open the door to their creations, with hope flickering gently within them. However, a new dilemma arose. How would they cope with the feedback, good or bad? Jack envisioned Mrs. Langley once more, her pointed comments echoing ominously in his thoughts. "Dad, don't let the fear of the crowd drown out your voice," Emily whispered, reading the fear etched on his face. He inhaled slowly, closing his eyes momentarily to center himself. They were ready to take this step, but the question lingered. Would they transform their anxieties into strengths, or would they be pummeled by the expectations of the outside world? With their small showcase looming, the stakes grew higher, and Jack sensed the defining juncture of their journey was just beginning. Could they truly stand firm together against the tide of judgments? As they prepared to unveil their creativity that night, new apprehensions darkened the horizon, bringing forth the tension that awaited them. What awaited them at the threshold of judgment could seal their growth or shatter their dreams. As the sun sank lower in the sky, casting elongated shadows across the room, Jack's heart raced like a frantic drumbeat. The objects around him, the disarray of paintbrushes, stacks of paper, the hastily organized snacks, stood testament to their hard work, yet they felt strangely like anchors dragging him into the depths of self-doubt. He sought out Emily's serene focus as she arranged the pieces, her hands moving with a deftness that he envied. But the moment was bigger than merely showcasing art. It was a confrontation with his very essence. Jack paced slowly, feeling the soft carpet beneath his feet as he evaluated every brushstroke, every angle of the photographs. A story lay within each piece. Were they worthy of interpretation? Did they resonate with anyone beyond his own understanding? "Dad, how do you feel?" Emily asked, breaking his spiral of thoughts. Her gaze was probing yet gentle, seeking honesty rather than performance. "I feel nervous," he admitted, the words spilling from his lips like a confession. "What if this is just a delusion, a father's fantasy that the world doesn't want?" Emily stepped closer, her youthful innocence juxtaposed against the clamor of Jack's insecurities. "But what if it's not? What if someone walks in here and it changes everything for them?" Her words hung in the air like a promise, igniting sparks of possibility. He felt a flicker, a warmth within, not just from the thought of impact, but the realization that he wasn't alone in this journey. Could vulnerability be the thread that connected them both? "Let's not focus on what we might lose," he indicated with newfound resolve. "Let's think about the lives we touch and the conversations we stir." Emily's face brightened, urging him on. "Exactly. It's about making a mark, not being perfect." But as guests began filtering into the small space, Jack's confidence shuddered again. He suddenly felt like a child standing before the classroom, sweaty palms holding onto a report that could alter his standing. Mrs. Langley loomed prominently within the multitude of faces.
her piercing eyes scrutinizing every brushstroke, ready to elevate minor failures into towering critiques. The room buzzed with chatter, anticipation, and the scent of freshly brewed coffee. Jack stood near the door, retreating into the shadows. His breathing felt constricted, as if the atmosphere was a weight pressing down on him, demanding performance, begging for validation. "What if they think I'm a joke?" he whispered to Emily as the laughter of familiar friends flowed over them. "Then they don't get it, Dad," Emily replied, her voice firm yet reassuring. "Art isn't about approval, it's about expression. We can't control how they interpret it. All we can do is share our hearts." He lifted his gaze away from her, directed at the gathered friends, their smiles inviting yet suffocating. "You're right, but no buts. You have to believe in the beauty of our journey," she interrupted. Cracking a smile at her zeal, Jack nodded slowly, mentally calculating the value of each opinion he held dear against the backdrop of what he might learn through this experience. Embracing this moment would not just be about feedback, it would be about channeling fears into creative expression, casting off doubts like old chains. Jack stepped forward, the barrier dissolving as he prepared to engage. The first hesitant words rolled off his tongue, shaky but determined, igniting a series of heartfelt exchanges that filled the space with newfound energy. He realized then that sharing meant embracing the authenticity of the experience without the guise of hesitation or false pretense. As applause erupted over his revealing stories, a sense of liberation washed over him. He watched the audience connect with the pieces, some faces reflecting understanding and others sparking curiosity. What started as personal fears twisted into communal art, an intricate dance of humanity. But as conversations flowed, so did a familiar voice. The unmistakable tone of Mrs. Langley emerged through the crowd. Jack recognized the flicker of apprehension rising again. Critique could come at any moment, a knife that could sever this fragile connection he had just built. Feeling the thrill of accomplishment still fresh, Jack stood at another juncture. Would he falter under the weight of her judgment, or stand firm, fortified by the transformative journey he had crafted alongside Emily? With every word, every share, the question burgeoned. How much of his past would he allow to shape this new identity? Could he unearth the courage to refute the specter of inadequacy? As her voice carried through the room, the next chapter of his life beckoned, filled with brimming potential and disquieting uncertainties. The murmur of the crowd enveloped Jack, an unpredictable blend of chaotic energy and intimate connection. As he shifted his weight from one foot to the other, he caught sight of Mrs. Langley weaving through the laughter, her somber expression forming a shadow over the joyful atmosphere. An urgent wave of dizziness washed over him. What would she say? Would her critique gouge through the fragile vulnerability he had just built up? His mind raced. Just as he opened his mouth to speak again, introducing yet another piece, he felt a tightening grip in his chest. Memories of past critiques flooded his mind. The way her utter disdain for amateur work felt like cold steel against his soul. The thought of disappointing her twisted like a knife within him. Sensing his hesitation, Emily sidled up beside him, her youthful buoyancy acting like a tether to reality. "Dad, focus on the passion behind your work," she whispered encouragingly. "They want to feel your heart. Speak from there." He inhaled deeply, attempting to reclaim the warmth that had flickered from earlier. Emily's words sparkled with conviction, urging him back towards the confidence he had fostered moments before. Each brushstroke, each piece exploding with narrative, pulsed through him like a vital lifeline, woven from history, sorrow, and joy. "Right, I'll start with the first piece," Jack announced, surprising even himself with the clarity and fluidity. He pointed to an abstract painting of swirling colors, capturing the tumult of his inner landscape. "This one is about finding beauty in chaos. The vibrant reds and blues represent the struggle and eventual clarity of painful memories." The crowd murmured with interest, pulling him deeper into his narrative. Eyes filled with understanding shone back at him,
absorbing not only the artwork but the raw emotion he was laying bare. Each subsequent piece unveiled layers of his journey: fear, hope, redemption, engaging listeners in intimate exchanges that felt like revelations. For the first time, he was the storyteller. But just as he felt buoyed by the engagement, Mrs. Langley stepped forward, her voice slicing through the warm atmosphere like winter air. "While it's commendable that you've shared personal experiences, Jack, I can't help but wonder, do you see these as art or merely a cathartic process for yourself?" The question struck him, fireworks of doubt sparking anew. The crowd's energy shifted, a weight settling in his gut. Here it was, the confrontation he'd dreaded. For a moment, he toyed with the idea of retreating, of saying something subtle and vague, but that would undermine everything he had fought to build. "I see art as a bridge between the personal and the universal," Jack responded, his voice firming. "These pieces are not just for me. Each brushstroke is a whisker of universal truths. It's through our stories that we find connection." He paused, hoping to recapture their attention, especially Emily's encouraging gaze. "Art must evolve from experience. Yes, it's cathartic, but that doesn't diminish its worth. In fact, that adds layers to its power." A tension pulsed in the air as he locked eyes with Mrs. Langley. Would she respond with understanding, fostering his newfound determination? Or would she unleash her critique, dousing his resolve? Silent seconds ticked by, and Jack confronted the lingering shadows of his inadequacies. Steeling himself, he understood this was not just a confrontation of words, but a battle for his self-perception, a defining moment carved in his evolving identity. An electric tension hung thickly, teasing anticipation as he awaited her reply. The surrounding crowd seemed to pulse with interest, caught between loyalty to their friend and curiosity about the harsh critic. What would Mrs. Langley reveal next? Would she tear down the walls he'd built, or offer an unexpected pathway to acceptance? An astonishing horizon of opportunity loomed ahead, filled with potential should he choose to embrace it fully. As Jack stood facing the crowd, he felt the weight of expectation pressing down on him, but he also felt the warmth of newfound confidence propelling him upward. Mrs. Langley opened her mouth, likely to unleash another sharp critique, but instead he was met with surprise. "Jack, you've put thought into this," she said, her tone slightly less condescending than before. "I can see the depth in your connection to this work. It's refreshing, but what does it mean for your future as an artist?" In that moment, something shifted within Jack. This exchange was not a battle. It was an opportunity, a chance to redefine himself, not just as a father or a struggling man, but as someone who had something genuine to offer the world of art. "I'm not just looking for approval, I'm reclaiming what I lost," he responded, his voice steady and resolute. "I've spent too long watching just from the side, allowing doubts and insecurities to guide my decisions. But this isn't just about me, it's about Emily too. Together, we are exploring who we can become through creativity, challenging each other while celebrating our journeys." He glanced towards Emily, who stood with a glimmer of pride shining in her eyes. Here was the culmination of all their hard work, the conversations, the laughter, and sometimes the tears. Realizing that, he felt a wave of accomplishment sweep over him. The quiet tension in the room kept shifting as Jack continued. "Art is a shared experience. It needs to evoke emotion and stir conversation, just as it has done here tonight. I believe we all have a story worth telling, and through these pieces, I hope to inspire others to share theirs." The crowd began to murmur quietly, and he could sense the tension dissipating. The support from friends around him enveloped him like a warm embrace. They understood the struggle, And in that understanding lay the essential affirmation he needed to accept himself. "See, you've even affected a critic," Emily whispered to him, her cheeky grin igniting a smile of triumph on his own face. Then he noticed Mrs. Langley's expression had softened, the skepticism slowly giving way to an approving nod. "That's a strong perspective, Jack," she conceded. "Allowing vulnerability isn't a weakness, it's a deliberate choice. To grow, you must accept feedback and self-discovery, both of which you seem ready to embrace." In that moment, the final pieces clicked into place for Jack. This wasn't just about being an artist, it was about being a father, a guide, and a participant in life. The transformation of his mindset had reached a zenith where insecurities were merely stepping stones towards growth. As the evening wore on, the conversations flowed more freely. Guests complimented the art and shared their own stories, affirming Jack and Emily's shared approach to vulnerability and creativity. Jack felt an internal shift. He was no longer an observer of life's canvas, but an active participant. Night fell softly around them, and as the stars began to twinkle outside the gallery, Jack realized that all the trepidation, all the battles waged in the silence of his mind had led him here, to a moment of clarity and recognition. He had not only found his footing as an artist, but had also solidified his position as an unwavering support for his daughter. Jack was proud, not only of the paintings and photographs that adorned the walls, but of the bond that had flourished through their shared creativity. He had embraced his past vulnerabilities and transformed them into tangible strength, asserting himself as a capable father, an artist capable of nurturing dreams. "Dad, we did it!" Emily beamed as they cleared up the remnants of their showcase. "Together," he replied, a soulful smile mirroring hers. At that moment, Jack recognized that he no longer needed the outside world's validation. The new reality they were crafting together held all the affirmation he needed. He understood now that they could face whatever challenges came next, hand in hand, a powerful duo striding forward into a future filled with promise. With every brushstroke and snapshot, they had laid the groundwork for a journey defined not by expectations, but by unyielding belief in themselves and each other. Finally, Jack found solace in the realization that personal growth is a continuous journey, one that he was now ready to navigate confidently. And as he gathered the last of the art pieces, he felt an unexpected tear brim in his eye. This was not sadness, but joy. Acknowledgement of the growth achieved and the bright path ahead. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive emotional stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. It truly makes a difference. Comment your reactions and theories about the ending. Your insights fuel our community. And share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this conclusion. Don't wait even one more second to uplift those around you.